What's up guys, it's Kristen from Anime Collective. So in this week's video, I decided to go ahead and do my manga haul a bit early. And the reason I'm getting it out early is because I had all of my shipments arrive from January. I'm also trying to be a little bit better about my purchases and preventing myself from going out shopping. So this is an attempt to do so. And I know I got 150 volumes, so I'm not doing all that great, but I'm a work in progress. With that being said, here's everything I picked up in the month of January. Alright, so first up are some of the volumes I picked up during the Barnes & Noble 50% off hardcover sale that took place after Christmas. So the first one I've got is one I've been collecting. It's Blade of the Immortal 4. I absolutely love the deluxe edition, so I'm picking up all of them that are releasing right now. I also picked up the remaining Sayuki Resurrected editions I needed, volumes 3 and 4 during the sale, so this one is now complete. And finally, my favorite pickup from the sale has to be Vinland Saga volumes 4 through 11. I already have 1 and 2 in the collection and was excited we were able to track most of the rest of the volumes we need down with the help of my mom. I found volume 6 at my local store, but my mom ran out to get the rest for me at her local Barnes & Noble. Shout out to my mom for being so awesome and going to get them for me. Now I just need to get volume 3 and I'll be caught up with the volumes I've released so far. Bungo Stray Doll's Beast volume 2 is another I picked up in store at Barnes & Noble. The story is written by Bungo's creator Kafka Asagiri, but the art is done by Shiwasu Hashikawa. I really enjoy the first volume and the art is awesome as well, so I'm continuing to pick it up. D. Greyman is one I've been trying to complete for a while now, and I was finally able to get volume 17. I already read the series thanks to the Shonen Jump app, but I can't wait to reread this one physically. Some of the volumes have been quite hard to find though, so here's hoping they restock soon. I love anything by Atsushi Okubo, so I'm of course getting the Fire Force volumes as they release. Volume 25 recently came out, so I picked it up in store at Barnes & Noble. I also ended up getting 2 Gaunt's omnibuses, volumes 6 and 7, even though I'm collecting the singles. I have most of them, but there are a few volumes that are more difficult to find or expensive. I'm missing one single that's included in each of these omnibuses, including volume 20, which is going for around $200 if not more on eBay. And I wanted to be able to go back and reread them physically, especially since some of the best panels of Gaunt's are in these volumes. I'm still going to track down the singles, but in the meantime I wanted to get these. Goblin Slayer Volume 4, the only volume I was missing of Goblin Slayer, also arrived this month. I think I've been waiting for this volume to ship out for 5 months, but now I can finally read Goblin Slayer, which has been at the top of my list to read for a long time. Mashley is a series I got into last month and is one of my favorites to recently release. It's funny but also quite badass as well. It just captured my heart, it had me laughing more times than I can count, but it also has characters I relate with as well. It's just awesome and I'm looking forward to reading volume 4. I absolutely love Siren, and you guys have probably heard me say this before, but it's one of my favorites. This one, like D. Greyman, is one I read digitally in the Viz app, but I want to reread physically. It has been hard to complete as well, with some of the volumes being out of stock for quite some time, but I'm one step closer with volume 16, which arrived this month. Real Volume 15 released at the end of 2021, but just arrived this month. Volume 14 released all the way back in 2016, so this volume has been much anticipated. Couldn't be happier that the series is finally resuming. Slam Dunk is another manga by Takehiko Inoue that I'm collecting, but it has been a bit of a journey trying to track them all down. Barnes & Noble recently restocked volumes 10 through 12, 22, 24, and 25 though, and they just arrived. A few of those volumes are still in stock on Barnes & Noble's site if you're still in search of them, but it looks like some of them are already marked as temporarily out of stock again. Spy Family Volume 1 is another that has been out of stock for a while, but it just recently restocked and arrived this month as well. It's action-packed, but it's incredibly heartwarming also, and is another recent favorite of mine. Tenjo Tenge Volume 8 is one I picked up in my endeavor to own all of O Great's manga. I got into collecting this one as well as Air Gear and Bakemonogatari last month. The first omnibus of The Breaker released last year, and it was one of my top pickups of 2021, so you know I had to get Omnibus 2. It's completely its own thing, but somewhat similar to Holy Land if you mixed it with GTO. It's entertaining, the fights are so well drawn, and it has an awesome sense of humor. Out of all the series I'm trying to collect, Triage X has been one of the most difficult, but it's well worth the time investment trying to get it. I was finally able to get Volume 2, which recently restocked on Amazon. Looks like it's still up at the time of this video if you're still in search of it, in Volume 12 as well. Ubelblot is another that I hope to one day complete. I love dark fantasy, so I'm trying my best to fully collect this one. Luckily, Barnes & Noble restocked Volume 2 recently. For some reason, I didn't think it would actually ship out, but it did. Looks like it's still in stock at the time of this video on Barnes & Noble if you're in search of it. I found all of the Ultraman volumes in good condition at half price last month aside from Volume 8, so I picked it up on Amazon this month. Always feels awesome to finally get caught up with this series. These next ones are the new series or editions I got into collecting this month. Other than Downfall, which has been out of stock for a while, Girl on the Shore is the only other series I have yet to pick up from Inyo Asano, but decided to change that when I was at Barnes & Noble the other day and saw it sitting on the shelf. It's the way he writes his stories, but also how he conveys them through his art that never ceases to amaze me. His works tend to fire on all cylinders for me, and while many of them have broken me, I can't imagine a world where I missed out on experiencing them. Not sure where A Girl on the Shore will land for me, but Inyo Asano is one of those creators that has truly impacted me, so I want to pick up all of his works. I passed up on some volumes of Black Cat at Half Price Books a few months back, and it still haunts me to this day. I think I was scared to get into it because it's out of print and harder to collect, but I decided to just finally dive in when I found Volume 2 on the shelf this month in good condition. This one is about bounty hunters who hunt down criminals, and it's set in the type of world and has the type of characters that I tend to enjoy. Okay, so I'm not a fan of American football, but I still picked up Eyeshield 21 because of 2 reasons. Yusuke Murata, one of my favorite artists who is also the artist on One Punch Man, and Richiro Inagaki, who also wrote Dr. Stone. I've also found that even if I'm not a fan of the sport that the manga is about, I can still enjoy the story. It also seems like an underdog story, which I'm a huge fan of. After reading The Breaker, another that I've recently gotten into and loved, I decided to get into more stories that have underdogs, and at the top of this list was Eyeshield 21. A lot of the other volumes I ordered are out of stock expecting more, but I was able to get quite a few of them shipped out, including volumes 2, 5, 8, 10 through 13, 16 through 18, 20 through 22, 27, 28, 31 through 35, and 37 from Right Stuff. Genshiken Volume 1 was an exciting half-price books find. Genshiken follows the members in Otaku Club, and I've really been enjoying slice-of-life comedies as well lately, so I'm picking more and more of them up. But this is one that seems like it will deeply connect and resonate with me, given that the characters have similar passions as I do. I also picked up Giganto Machia by the one and only Kentaro Miura this month. You guys know how I feel about Berserk. It's an absolute masterpiece, and I wanted to experience his other work, so I decided to get into this one as well. It's always a joy to witness his highly detailed and intricate panels, but I also really love the way in which he builds his worlds. I'm sure that will be no exception here, even though it only has 1 volume. Ikigami: The Ultimate Limit is one I've been recommended by you guys multiple times, so I'm getting into it. It sounds like it's going to be pretty brutal after reading the synopsis and being set in a society where people are selected to die in some messed up endeavor to add more weight to the value of life. The story follows Kengo Fujimoto and Ikigami Messenger, which are the individuals that essentially tell these people that they are about to die. It seems like it will take a look at how these individuals will spend their last moments and how they respond knowing that they only have hours to live. Again, it definitely sounds like a brutal read, but I really enjoy seinen that have psychological themes and are set in dystopian societies. Plus, it kinda sounds like the Hellbound or Psycho-Pass 2 series I love. This next one, Izuwari Bido, is a shonen, and I found volumes 1 and 2 at Half Price Books. I actually had never heard about this one before until I discovered it on the shelf. In this one, the main character lies because his truthfulness as a child resulted in a tragedy, and he's apparently a troublemaker, and I always find these types of characters to be intriguing. But anywho, it states he uses his penchant for deception to help others, which sounds interesting as well, so I had to pick it up. On top of all that, the art inside looks great too. I got volumes 1 and 12 of Jujutsu Kaisen last month, but my parents gifted the rest of the volumes 0, 2 through 11, and 13 to me for Christmas. They just recently arrived from Right Stuff, so I have all of the volumes that have been released so far, but super happy that I can finally reread this one physically. Love of Kill is a new one I decided to pick up after finding volume 5 at Barnes & Noble. I actually discovered this one after hearing about the anime which began airing this month. I run a website about anime and manga, so I spend my time writing about these series, and this is one that jumped out at me since it's a cat and mouse story between 2 killers. Mao Juvenile Remix is one I learned about while browsing the shelves at Half Price Books. I really enjoy underrated series, and it looks like this is one of them. Although I think this one is out of print, so it may be a bit before I can track down the remaining 7 volumes. The main character, Ando, has a mysterious ability to make others speak what is on his mind. He hides it until one day he is forced to use it after meeting a vigilante group called the Grasshopper. They want peace and to put an end to crime, and they will achieve that at all costs, but Ando notices there's a dark side to this group and starts uncovering their secrets. Sounds part mystery, part action, part dystopian society, pretty much all the things I love wrapped into one, and it has a cool art style too. I'm kinda getting freaked out lately because it feels like I've been speaking things into existence. I was talking not too long ago about how much I would love to own March Story, and then I walked into Half Price Books. All the volumes but 3 were sitting on the shelf. Such a random occurrence, but this one is a fantasy horror seinen that I've been looking forward to reading. The art is done by Kyon Il-yang, who also did the art for The Kingdom of the Gods, and his work is absolutely stunning. There's so much gore in this one too, and while these more gruesome moments are shocking, they are beautifully drawn as well. I recently picked up all of the volumes of Welcome to the NHK off of Right Stuff, but they were a new printing that they collaborated with Tokyo Pop on, but there's something off about the way that the pages were glued to the spine, and they are really difficult to read. I stumbled upon 2 first print volumes at half price, and they're so much better in terms of readability, so I decided to get them. Also, they have color pages at the beginning, whereas the new volumes do not, so that's yet another perk to getting the first editions. Let me know if you guys would be interested in a comparison video of the 2 printings, because I was really surprised at the differences between the 2. I saw they are coming out with omnibuses for Noragami next year, but I have been wanting to get the singles for a while now, and it's one that I'm even surprised I don't have in my collection. I finally stumbled upon Volume 1 at Barnes & Noble, so I decided to finally get into it. I also love the anime, so I can only imagine how incredible the manga is. School Rumble Volumes 4 and 6 are ones I actually found on clearance for $2 a piece at half-price books, so I decided to finally get into this one as well. It's super out of print, but I can't wait to find the rest of the volumes. These final finds are all from one half-price books trip. It has to be my new favorite half-price books haul to date, although the Gaunt singles will always be among the top. I honestly am still in awe that I was able to find all of this, but first up is Eden is an Endless World Volume 1, which I found for $6. I have a long road ahead of me because this is a rather expensive series to collect, but this is one I've been wanting to get for forever and is at the top of my wish list. Needless to say, I couldn't believe I found this one on the shelf. Post-apocalyptic stories are some of my favorites, and I've heard this is one of the best. So I am anxiously awaiting the day that I finally own all of the singles. Master Keaton, a series by Naoki Urasawa, is one that I've long wanted to own, and I found the first volume on the shelf for $10 at half price. The cover has this really cool raised print of a map all over it, as well as metallic lettering, so they look even more beautiful as the light hits them. They are nice looking volumes, and I'm looking forward to finally reading this one. The first thing I saw on the shelves at half price though is volumes 1 through 7 of the 20th Century Boys singles for around $6 a piece. I honestly don't remember picking these up off the shelf because I blacked out when I saw them. The image of their spines is burned into my brain because I've been searching for them for so long. It was an immediate response when I saw them. I currently own the Perfect Editions, but I love the look of the individuals, so I had to get them. I didn't think it could get any better, and then I heard Brad, who was looking at the shelf next to me, absolutely freaking out. And that's when I saw them, the Berserk DMP singles volumes 2 through 27 and 29 through 32. My first thought was I never thought I'd get to own these, let alone see them in the wild, and then my second thought was, oh man, this is about to get really expensive. To my surprise, they priced them all at around $7 a piece. You all know by now that Berserk is my favorite manga and has been a dream of Brad and I's to own these alongside the deluxe editions. If you guys are curious as to what the DMP Berserk singles are, Dark Horse originally was co-publishing Berserk with DMP, but they stopped doing so, are now out of print, and are quite expensive to collect. To my knowledge though, the only difference between the Dark Horse paperbacks and these are their spines. Also, let me know if you guys would be interested in a comparison video between the paperbacks and deluxe editions. I already reviewed the deluxe editions on the channel, but have yet to do a comparison video of them with the singles. And that's it guys, that's all of the manga I picked up in the month of January. So many awesome finds that I can't believe I found. What about you guys? What did you pick up? Let me know in the comments. As always, hope you guys enjoyed this video and thanks so much for watching.